Okay, so at the end of the last video, we were having problems with too many collisions. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the location of the spawning for the particle effect. We're just going to have it spawn in the center of the enemy, and we're going to do it in here instead of in the animation notification state. So go back to your player deal damage animation notification state and just delete this. So we're not going to spawn the emitter here. We're going to spawn it elsewhere. So just plug, but we want to apply the damage still. So just leave that like that. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. I need my enemy BP. I don't think I'll need the player skeleton. I don't think I'll need the anim BP. I'll need my enemy though. So I've just opened up my enemy blueprint, which is in obviously my enemy folder. And I'm going to get rid of the print string and event any damage. We are going to spawn emitter location. Now this won't be exactly where the hit is, so that might be a problem for you, but it'll just spawn in the center mass of the enemy. So in order to get that right, I'm just going to add in an arrow. So I'm just going to type arrow. We can use this as the location for the spawn, and we'll just have it spawn in his chest like that. And with the animation, when it plays, it'll look fine. So we'll go over here. No, not to there. We don't need that anymore. We'll go to the enemy BP, to his event graph, and we just need a location for this. So we'll drag in the arrow and we'll type get world location. We'll plug that into the location. Now here I've just called this arrow 1. I'm actually going to call that emitter spawn location. Okay. And there we go. Now, we obviously want to do once here as well. So this is the reason we've moved up here. So we are going to drag out from here again, the event any damage, and we're going to do once. And we're going to have a delay, the length of the animation, which I'm going to set to be 1.3, like the delay we had before. And that is going to then reset this. So we can only do one amount of damage. We can only spawn one emitter until the animation's finished. So per animation, we can only deal one set of damage. Okay, so that should work. But we haven't told the emitter, well, which emitter to spawn. So go into the enemy and go to the impact. There, compile, hit play. Right, it spawns in the middle of him, in the center of his mass, and it only does it once. Okay, so I'm just going to move that arrow a little further out like that, because it will spawn actually there where that circle is. And we also want to inherit that to the mesh. Right, and then hit compile, hit play. That a quick test. Yeah, fine. That looks great. Okay, now what we want to do is get this set up so that it's actually going to be working a little better. Now, we might come back later on and change that so that we do go back to the old system, having it spawn on the actual impact point, because the reason I say that is because since the last video, what I've done is I've gone back to Mixamo and I've actually created my enemy folder in the same way that I created my player folder. So if we go to the player folder, we've got animations, blueprints, and mesh. Now, in my enemy folder, I've got animations mesh, and I'll just quickly create a blueprints folder. Place my enemy blueprint in there, so move here. And then we've got set up exactly the same as we were before, but now I'm just going to bring in those animations and the mesh. Oh, I've already done it, sorry. So I went to Mixamo, got an enemy model, brought him in. Then I got some animations for him. Let me just go over what animations I got. I got a idle, a impact, so when he gets hit. Got a punch, a roaring, so we can have like a bit of downtime where he sort of roars. I've got a run, attack. I think I've got 2 attacks and a walk. Okay, so to get this added here, we've already got a mesh, so it's set to SK mannequin. We'll just change that to enemy, and then we've got our enemy dude in. Now I'm going to scale him up later so he's kind of big, right? So that's what I mean about the impact point. It probably won't work spawning out of his chest. We're probably going to have to think about how to do that only once actually in the animation notification state. But for now, we'll just leave it like this. So yeah, he's looking cool. Now we need to go and set up an animation blend space and do all that stuff. So let's go and do that. So in the animation folder, we'll just create a animation blend space. And again, it just needs to be 1D. We'll go to the enemy skeleton and we'll open it up. We'll open it up. No, we won't. We'll wait. While we wait, I'll create an animation blueprint and we'll call, and it's for the enemy skeleton. Hit OK, and we'll call that anime underscore anim, anim underscore BP. Oh, come on. Anim underscore BP. And then the other thing's gone for some reason. So I'll just create another blend space again. The enemy skeleton, and we'll call this anime underscore blend space. Okay, so we'll go into the anim BP. No, we won't. That's wrong. Sorry. We'll go into the enemy blend space. We'll close the player for now. We'll just have all the enemy stuff open. So enemy BP, blend space, and the animation blueprint. So same thing, speed, because we're only going to check his forward direction. Minimum 0, maximum 600. We'll have 6 grid divisions, and we will have the idle at 0, walk at 200, and the running will be right at the end. So where is the running? Walking, roaring, run. Right. So if we just move between them, idle, walk, nice and slow, all the way to run. Now we might not want so much between those, but we're going to set that up so that it blends nicely. Okay. So save that, and then go to the enemy animation blueprint, and then again we want to add new state machine. Plug that in. I'm going to call it locomotion again, simply because I like the word locomotion. And then I'm going to open that up, drag out, and add a state. Call this idle / walk / run. You don't have to call it that. That's just what I've got used to calling it. And then open that up by double clicking, go to the asset browser, drag in your enemy blend space, and then we're going to need to create a variable for the speed here. So event graph cast to enemy BP, plug the object into get pawn owner. As enemy BP, same thing, get the velocity, and also from there get forward vector, active forward vector, and then we're going to dot both of those. Sorry, we just get one dot product. I'm going to combine those, and then we haven't promoted that variable, so just drag that out, promote that variable, and call it speed. And then we'll see that there. We can set that variable like that, and then hit compile. Boom, done. Okay, so that'll work, but we haven't set up any movement or any kind of AI or anything yet, so he's not going to move. But if we add the enemy anim BP to him, he will pop into his idle pose and look a little better than he did before. So hit compile. Go to the... he's already in there. So hit play. Okay, look how tiny he is. Little weeny tiny dude. There he goes. Yeah, he's far too small. It looks so super lame. So let's grab him and up his size a little. So grab the scale tool. Grab the scale tool, make sure we've got them all, scale them up a little bit, and then what we're going to have to do is scale up the capsule. So go to the capsule component. Now you can't just scale this up, you've got to change the height. So we'll do 120 for the height. 120 maybe a bit much. Doesn't have to be the full size because we're not going to be able to get hit up here, so maybe that'll be fine. So, and then 56, yeah, that looks okay. Remember, it's the capsule that you're actually doing all the collision stuff with. So we'll just hit compile there. Oh, he's standing up. He's a little bit, but the size is better. The camera clips into him up close. So let's just lower him down slightly. So grab the move tool, drag him down, hit compile. See if that is on the ground now. I think it's the capsule that's making him rise up. If you look there, he's fine. And then I hit play. There's something wrong with the capsule, maybe. Maybe it's pressing into the ground too much. But as far as I know, you can't actually move or do anything with the capsule. So maybe I'll just reduce the height to 100. Compile, see how that works. Yeah, that seems to work much better. So. Okay, so what we can do, though, is make him play the animation for when he gets hit so we can actually see what that's looking like. So what we need to do is we need to go into the enemy blueprint and we need to create a variable called take damage. I keep pressing caps lock for some reason. Take damage. Now, this spawn emitter actually now wants to be further out here. More like here, probably. Okay, when we take damage, we want to move that delay over there. We want to grab in the character movement and we want to play animation. Okay, and the animation we want to play is the impact animation. So it's mutant impact. Plug that into there and then have that going into the delay. And then hit compile. It needs a target. The target is the character. What? Oh, sorry. No, the mesh. It's the mesh component, not the character movement component. My mistake. So hit compile. That should fix that. Now, when I go over here and hit him, see how he's reacting, but then he's not blending back into his blend space, you see. So he just stays in that animation. So what we want to do is set that up in the blend space so that he'll blend back. Let's check the time. We should have time to do that. So let's cancel that. So that's not going to work out. And then open the enemy blend space. No, animation blueprint. And what we want to do is we want to go to the locomotion graph, drag out, add a state, and it's take damage. Oh, my typing today is so bad. Take damage, and we want to transition back from that as well. So the take damage animation is impact. Plug that in, compile, and we want him to also, I think, to stand still when he takes damage. So he'll stop doing whatever he does. That'll cancel out some other things. So we'll set that up later. Now the errors we've got are the transition, because we haven't set up any transition. So event graph first, because we need to get take damage. Promote that to a variable, call it damage. Remember, we can't call these the same. And plug that in. And then we have access to that here, and we can go and do our transitional rules. So go to the locomotion, click on the idle to take damage, drag in damage, get it, and then type equal Boolean. So if this is equal to be true, then we can enter the transition. And obviously, reversely, get drag out type equal boolean, and if it's false, then we want to transition back. So we need to actually set it to be false, because right now we're not setting it to true or false. Okay, so take damage, not get, we want to set. So when we take damage, we want to set it to set that to be true. And we've already got a delay and everything set up. So after the delay, we can then take damage, set that to be false, and then that can go into the reset on the do once. Plug that into there. Hit compile. And then we should have now he plays the animation, but also transitions back into his idle pose. Oh, the delay is too long. Right. So, okay. So the impact animation isn't that long. So impact is only 7 seconds. Okay. So pause. So let's do a bit of working out. So I need 7 seconds for this. So we want a sequence coming off. Yeah, I want a sequence coming off this delay. So let's just undo that. So we want that to be set to 0.7. And then I need another, what was that? So another 6. So out of here, so CV. So we're just making up the number we had before so that it all works. So 0.3, that can go into there, then that can go into the reset. Okay. So it actually might need to be a bit less than 0.7. I find you want oftentimes to put point of a second. Oh, it looks fine. So he does it and then he blends back into his pose instead of staying in that one where he does for that animation in the end point of the impact animation. So we hit him, he takes damage, and in the next section we'll start giving him some like pursuing behavior and stuff like that. Oh, that's part of the idol. Okay. All right, cool. So I'll see you in the next one.